What's up, Scorpio? Welcome to your love quickie. This is not going to resonate with all of you Scorpios, so definitely check out your other placements for added messages, okay? Let's start out. Oh, also, this is timeless, so whenever you are inspired to watch it is when it's meant for you, okay? Now, you guys start out with Four of Pentacles and Six of Cups. Interesting. When we get to Four of Pentacles, especially when we're talking about love, this really highlights feelings of lack or feelings of scarcity, right? Four of Pentacles is very much connected to usually like saving money or holding on to something so tight, right? Because there's this fear of almost losing it. Now you see how Homegirl is standing behind her lover's back, looking into her phone at what she's looking at. There's insecurity. She's upset. Her arms are crossed. I would say, Scorpio, before I even get into all the other cards, there are some things that definitely need to be addressed in this relationship that you guys are in, whether it's an actual relationship, a situationship, someone you like, whatever it is. There's things that need to be addressed. Because with this Four of Pentacles, like I said, there is this feeling of scarcity or this feeling of lack or this feeling of holding on to something so tight that, inevitably that's how we end up losing things a lot of the time. But also I get the feeling that there might be some type of staying in a relationship or holding on to a relationship because of financial reasons. Maybe your partner is the breadwinner and maybe you don't have the resources at this time to hold on. But this is an energy of holding on to something so tight because there's this fear of losing it in one way or another. Now, for some of you guys, this is someone that you share children with. You do have a Six of Cups here, which does talk about children. It talks about families. It also talks about soulmate relationship. You know, this kind of together makes me ask the question, you know, what's more important, attraction or compatibility? Sometimes we really like people or we're really attracted to someone, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're the best for us. In this case, we've got the soulmate card of Six of Cups. I personally believe that we all have a few soulmates. I also personally believe that we don't necessarily end up in intimate relationships with all of our soulmates. They're all here to teach us different things and to have different experiences with. So maybe is this a case where you fall into that? There's something that you guys are scared to let go of. Of course, for some of you guys, this has to do with the whole like breaking up a family unit, breaking up children, or that hope and that faith that, no, we can get it together. We're meant to be. And you know what? That is possible, but there's some hard things that you guys are going to have to face in order to make this work. Now, in the past, you may have seen yourself more of this Nine of Pentacles person. Nine of Pentacles is this single ladies card, but she's very much a card of like, she takes care of herself, right? She does like everything that she needs physically, she's got it. Everything that she needs emotionally, even, she's got it. She's in a really good place independent of anybody else, right? But now I think some of you guys might find yourself in a relationship where you are way more codependent than you ever intended to be, and way more codependent than you're used to being, right? Also, again, there is a lot of this pentacle energy. Some of you guys might be dealing with an earth sign person, Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo. And also they could be the breadwinners, right? So it does feel like if some of you guys are holding on to a relationship that maybe you're having a hard time trusting, you're having a hard time being with, it could be, again, because you are dealing with someone who is the person who's actually bringing home the bacon, right? There's some type of tie that kind of keeps you bound to them in a way. Now, in the near future, which I love to see, is King of Cups. This is you guys, right? This is your energy. This is you standing in your power. King of Cups is the strongest, most mature in his suit, right? The kings are the most mature in the suit. They've reached a level of mastery. Now, King of Cups is very intellectual in terms of emotions. Like, he's very emotionally intelligent. He's very kind. He's very patient. All these things. Everything that you're going to or going through right now at this time, it's building you up on an emotional level so that you are able to be there for other people. King of Cups is also someone who's like a counselor or a therapist, like someone that people talk to in terms of like feeling better, getting other insight, all that kind of stuff. I feel like you guys are going to be finding yourself in a place where you've become really balanced after you deal with whatever it is that this situation is. There's something that I feel like you guys are trying to avoid, but it's definitely important that it gets kind of called to the carpet because that's what the King of Cups does. He doesn't really avoid stuff. He's very in tune with his emotions, other people's emotions, and he wants to be in order to problem solve and to make people feel better. And I think in order for you guys to feel better, this is really, really about you guys also being fair to yourself, being open with yourself, your feelings, and allowing yourself to feel, because it feels like there's a lot that you guys are keeping bottled up at this time, and it's not really serving you. If anything, it's just making things worse. And that's not cool, right? Now, what to avoid, as your cop out card, you got the Ten of Wands, which I will say Libra got the same card in the same exact place. So if you have any Libra placements or you're done with Libra, it might be helpful to, go check out that reading. But Ten of Wands is someone who's taking on too much. She can't hold all this. Like, she cannot hold all this. Ten of Wands reminds me of my son. When my son was 3 or 4, it didn't matter what I gave him. Kids always love to bring a bunch of shit to the car. So my son he'd bring all his little Matchbox cars or something in my car, and we get out of the car, I'd say, okay, Choice, you need to get your stuff, right? If he had anything more than 2 items, and it didn't matter if they were tiny items where he could maybe hold 2 or 3 in one hand, if he had more than 2 items, he would refuse. Like, he would literally tell me, Mom, I'm not an octopus, right? And for me, watching my son say that, I knew that he would, like, in his own way, that was him setting his boundary. Like, this is how much I can take on. This is all I could do. This is what I got. I got 2 arms, girl, and you want me to carry 4 things. How does that work, right? And so for me as a parent, what I had to do is kind of learn to be patient with him and be okay with maybe sometimes taking second trips, because I didn't want to do the work for him and him, bringing his stuff in. Point is, this is a time for you guys in terms of if you feel as though you're the only one in your relationship, doing all the work, you got to delegate. You got to figure out some other things that don't wear you out as much. You got to figure out some other ways to not bring all this stress on you, because it feels like you guys are in the relationship carrying the whole load. Now, of course, this could be the opposite person. This is a general reading, but it feels like Scorpio's in a place where in relationships, in terms of relationship, you are carrying a lot more than you should be having to carry. And of course, these wands could be different things. They could be, thoughts that go against a happy relationship. This could be duties in a relationship. This could be, it could be anything, but there is definitely this need to kind of let some things go and kind of give it up to other people, right? A relationship is 2 people. It's not just you solving it. So not only you can solve this relationship, you need that reciprocity and that involvement from your partner. Now, the thing to aim for, you got the 8 of Swords. Scorpio, this is a time right now where you need to just be focusing on getting unstuck. Sometimes we try to fix things that we feel, externally, but you can't. Everything that is going on in our external is a reflection of what's going on internally. An 8 of Swords person, especially if we're talking about love in a relationship, this could be someone who feels trapped. This could be someone who feels like they're isolated. They could feel like they just don't know what to do. They feel like they don't have people they can talk to or depend on. Like, this is it's not a fun feeling. What I do like in this card, the 8 of Swords, some of these bars are almost like cut, almost as if she's like finding her way out, right? The beautiful thing about 8 of Swords is, it does remind us that you always have the ability to work your way out of a situation if this pops up, right? Because 8 of Swords energy is an energy that we essentially have put ourselves in, right? Just participating in the bullshit or ignoring because it's uncomfortable or whatever. But as much as you put yourself in a situation, or as much as you find yourself in a situation that's uncomfortable, you can also get your way out of it, right? She's not completely trapped. There are things that she can do. There are ways and resources around her. Now, in your advice to moving forward, this is big. You got the Tower and you got the 7 of Swords. Whew, girl, I would say that this is showing up because a lot of this feeling trapped, this feeling stuck, this feeling like we don't trust, right? Which is why we're looking into the phone. It could have to do about some things that have come to the surface, some secrets that have come to the surface, some sneaking that's come to the surface. Something might have just hit you out of nowhere, some information popping up. And to be honest, it feels like you haven't necessarily given yourself the space and the time to really fill that out and figure out what that means for you and how you felt about it and how you were affected by it. You know, if you were in a relationship where there was some type of betrayal or lies or something going on, you have every right to work through those feelings. But I would say, you know, with this showing up in your advice, it feels like these are things that we haven't really addressed, right? Why? Because again, there's this scarcity thing, there's this trap thing. There could be, you know, needing the resources of the partner. There could be this not wanting to break up the family type thing. But these are things that need to be addressed if you want your relationship to move forward in any kind of way. Whatever this Tower card is for you, whether this was like you find out there was some financial shit going on behind your back, whether you find out there was cheating, whether you find out there was whatever it was, whatever it is that's not cool with you, whatever it is that is literally sitting there sizzling in your spirit, you got to say something about it. This is a time to address it, because ignoring it is not going to make it disappear. Okay? Now, for many of you guys, that leads you to really a world of unknown. We've got the King of Wands and we got the Moon card. Both of these cards also showed up in the Libra read. The Moon card actually did show up in the same placement. The King of Wands did not. So again, Libra read might be really helpful for you guys. The King of Wands is fun and attractive. And this is someone who has taken his Knight of Wands energy, right? When he was fun and kind of into trying new things and experimenting, maybe dating around. This is someone who's a little bit more elevated, right? They're very aware of who they are. They're very aware of what they want, and they're on the path to go get it, right? Now, with the Moon showing up here though too, it's interesting because in the Moon, we're talking about in terms of love or like relationships. This could be someone who's very confused about what's going on. This could be someone who's really out of the dark, or out in the dark, out of the Lord, you know what I'm trying to say. This is someone who's like clueless as to what's going on. When we talk about moon energy, there's a lot of mystery that surrounds it. There's a lot of unknown that we don't know. You could also be dealing with some Pisces energy, but I think for a lot of you, this kind of talks about you trying something new, right? Going forward in a different way. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't possible for you guys to figure out, you know, what the next step is with this person. That's absolutely possible. But of course, it depends on two people, right? Because a relationship is not just you. So if you are willing to address this and work on it, and your partner is too, you know, and you guys are both doing the best you can, there's patience and love and respect and all that stuff there, then absolutely this is something that can be turned around. But for some of you guys, this is going to put you in a place of seeing what something else do, you know, being open to some new adventure and some new person, some new whatever. And yes, that is scary. Moon energy is scary because we don't know. And as human beings, we want to know what's going to happen to us, right? We want to be in the know. Again, it also can be scary because this can affect your home life. This can affect your finances. This can affect your family. But I do think that it's really important that you evaluate all this stuff, because right now, again, you guys are in this place of Ten of Wands, just holding on to everything. And she can't do it. She can't do it for long, right? So as uncomfortable as it may be, if you never really got any closure over a situation, whatever it is, I would say that this is a time to address it and put it out on the table and see what you guys can do with it. Now, you've got children. Your love life is being affected by children. Again, a lot of you, it could be, again, with that Six of Cups, it does talk about children. There could be some type of connection where something's, you know, a little off in your relationship, but you're trying to work it out for the kids, right? And think about that. And think about what that means for you and the kids. I am a person who is a product of my parents divorcing when I was 3, and I don't even know. There aren't any words for me to say how how thankful I am that they did. Because I think about my mom, I think about my dad. They're just so obviously two different people that didn't belong together. They got together very young, and we can understand how that happens. But if they were to try to stay together, to work it out for the kids, my life and my brother's life would probably be very different and not so good of a way. So these are things to think about, my love. I hope that this helped you guys. I love you so much, and I will talk to you soon, Scorpio. Bye.